Hello chess friends and welcome to the channel. In today's video, one recent game played by Abhimanyu Mishra, a young player from New Jersey who just became the youngest international master in history. Mishra, at the age of 10 years, 9 months and 3 days, broke the previous record held by Praggnanandhaa by 17 days. The game that we are going to watch together was played last August at the United States Chess Masters against the 26-year-old American grandmaster Zherebukh. Let's get started. Mishra with the white pieces opens with e4. Zherebukh answers with c6, the Caro-Kann. Here comes d4 and d5. e5 is the advanced variation. Bishop to f5 brings the bishop out of the pawn chain. Here comes knight to f3 and e6, bishop to e2, knight to d7 and short castle for white. Knight to e7, now knight in b goes to d2, h6 and knight to b3. So until now, all normal stuff. The main line for black is now g5, with bishop to g6 played by Zherebukh. That is also a good move. Black cannot push the g-pawn anymore. But why to push this g-pawn? Because black's problem, let's say, is to develop this knight so that he can also develop the bishop on f8. With g5, this knight will jump to g6. With bishop back to g6, the bishop just cleared the f5 square for the knight, so no problems for black. Here comes bishop to d2, knight to f5, so now the last square bishop can move to e7. Here comes a4, and in this position there is a slight advantage for white, but in the 17 games that I have in my database, white scores more than 70%, so really very good score. Here comes bishop to e7, a5, taking more space on the queen side, short castle for black, and now the main line for white is g4. Let's briefly watch this variation, not played by Mishra. If g4 now, the knight will jump to h4, protected by the bishop. Knight captures, bishop captures, and now f4. Let's go back to our game. After short castle, here comes c4. That is a move that generally is played later. This is a novelty, so the game is original, but this move is interesting. With rook to c8, played by black, this is not a mistake but a loss of time, because if we go back one move, d captures on c4, bishop captures, and now c5 is probably the best answer for black. Instead, black plays rook to c8, rook to c5, same idea played by black, same loss of time, because the two best ideas are c5 or bishop to c3. Now, after rook to c1, again black can capture here on c4. Instead, here comes b6, and there is a slight advantage for white. C captures, bishop to c3, also closing this file for the rook. Knight back to b8, because black wants to relocate the knight to c6. Queen to d2, connecting the rooks. Knight to c6, and now rook to a1. Rook to b8, a captures. Queen captures, attacking the knight. Knight to a5, and in this position, with knight captures on a5, black equalizes the game. Let's watch this variation not played by Zherebukh. Best idea now for black is knight captures on a5. Now, of course, because the bishop is protecting b2, is the rook that must capture. Now, bishop to b4 is a very good move that simplifies the position. After rook to b5, bishop captures, b captures, queen to c7, and if you notice, this game should be a draw. Instead, going back to our game, after knight to a5, instead of capturing, here comes knight to b4, and this is an inaccuracy. Rook to a4, h5 now preventing g4. Rook in f goes to a1, Mishra is becoming strong on the queen side. Rook in f goes to c8, knight back to b3, now a7 is under attack, so knight back to c6, and again this knight is under attack. Knight back to c1, h4 now, and here comes h3, stopping the pawn. In this position, black would like to exchange some pieces here on the king side, preventing any attack. But instead of playing knight back to h6 first and then bishop to h5, here comes directly bishop to h5, and this is a tactical mistake. With knight captures on h4 with the discovered attack, white wins a pawn. Black answers with bishop captures on h4, and now of course there is bishop captures on h5. Let's go back a couple of moves. There is another possible capture for black, that is bishop captures on e2, but this line is even worse, because here comes knight captures on f5, bishop back to c4, knight captures with check, knight captures, and there is also rook captures on a7. Black is 2 pawns down. So let's go back to our game. We said after h3, best idea at first knight back to h6, so that the discovery doesn't have a target, so it's not playable. But here comes bishop to h5, a mistake, knight captures, bishop captures, and bishop back to e7. Now bishop to g4, and white will give away the bishop pair to ruin the pawn structure. So knight back to h6, bishop to e2, and knight back to f5. Bishop to d3, again targeting the knight. Here comes g6, and knight to e2, knight to h4, but here comes a strong move, queen to f4. Why this move is so strong? Because white can begin a dangerous attack against the king. After g3, and of course the knight must move back, and h4, the queen will move to g4, pinning this pawn, also clearing f4 for the knight, then h5 will come, and this is really a dangerous attack. So black answers with king to g7, that doesn't solve any problem. So now white's position is becoming really strong. Here comes g3, knight back to f5, and now king to g2. This is a safe move, but is low, because white can already capture with the bishop on f5. After king to g2, here comes rook to h8, queen to g4, and rook to h5. h4. Now, what happens if black moves away the king? Let's play, for example, king to f8, not what was played in the game, just a variation to show you some attacking ideas. Here comes knight to f4 with tempo against the rook, rook back to h6, but here comes h5. If g5, the knight can capture on d5, the pawn is overloaded and the position completely opens, and white advantage is too much to stop. So Zherebukh tries to find a counter-attack. After h4, he sacrifices the bishop on h4, bishop captures, g captures, rook captures, attacking the queen. Queen to g5 with the idea of queen to f6 we check. So here comes knight captures on e5, another aggressive answer to try to stop this attack. Bishop captures, rook to h2 we check, and even if the rook is unprised, the king cannot capture the rook, because if king captures, there is knight to f3, winning the queen. So rook to h2 we check, the rook cannot be captured, so king to g3, and now he captures on f5. Rook to a6, attacking the queen, is very strong. Also the queen, later we will see that cannot be captured, because here comes a rook in b goes to h8, and the idea is to give checkmate. So in this position, not possible with the rook to capture the queen, because let's watch the variation. If rook captures, this move loses on the spot. Black gives a beautiful checkmate with rook to h3 we check, king to f4 only move, now knight to d3, this is checkmate. So let's go back to our position, also the position that I put in the thumbnail. So what to play now? Mishra plays knight to f4, and this move is crashing. In fact, black resigns. Why this move is so strong? Because the knight is now controlling h3, so stopping any checkmate threat. Black is already a piece down, both the queen and another piece are under attack. So let's make some other moves. Now, what happens if black saves the queen? queen to b7, here comes d captures on e5, king to g8, at least preventing the check, but now there is queen to d8 with check. If king to g7, there is e6, king to h6, queen captures with check, king to g5, and bishop to f6 is checkmate. And after king to d8 we check, if king to h7, here comes queen to f6, the rook will capture on a7, then will also capture here on f7, and nothing can stop the checkmate. So, quite a nice game for a 10 years old against a grandmaster with a rating more than 2600. My congratulations to Mishra, because I'm always happy to show these young prodigies in their journey to become top players. Our analysis is over. I hope that you enjoyed the game, and we will meet soon with new games from the Grand Prix tiebreak. For now, thank you very much for watching and see you soon. Goodbye!